The blackest eyes. The devil's eyes.
Hail to the king, baby.
Boy! The plan is, kill the brain, and you kill the ghoul.
Welcome to hell.
I said, I'm not gonna hurt you. I'm just gonna bash your brains.
Welcome to prime time.
Tight.
What?
Good morning, good evening, good night. You've just joined us on the Podcast In The Backseat. I don't know why, I almost forgot our own title. We're 20 shows in. 20 shows?
20, just the way I like them.
Yeah? Oh, I don't know.
And it doesn't work with that joke. No, I'm not going to say the one about 20, where the punchline is, what's so good about such and such? There's 20 of them.
No.
I'll tell you after I do it.
I know that one. I know that one. But no,
there's 20 of them.
I was going to say that this is show 20, but it's not really because we did that cinema special. You're welcome. But this is the, this is the this is us, and I don't know where I'm going with this.
I don't know.
I'm so sad, man.
What's your name again?
Yeah, my name is Matthew Sugarcane Hutton.
Matthew Kelly, and tonight I'm going to be Jeffrey Dahmer. I know that'd be quite
randy
cool,
as fuck. No, I'm very, very hungover. I'm not gonna lie to you. I woke up last night because and I won't give any sort of spoilers at all. And if you do, I'll kill you because I think you know where this is going. The trailer dropped for Halloween Kills. Now I did watch it. My beautiful co-host, who might want to introduce himself.
Wayne Alexander. I keep on gonna go for some sort of weird, like the third Esquire.
You sure?
PhD. I don't know. KGB.
Yeah.
Just a little red dot just appears on the camera as we're talking to each other over Zoom.
You bang. Which we're gonna do.
Only show Tim in the eyes. I don't know why I went German. I'm going to be more Russian. Did you ever watch it? To digress a little bit. Did you ever watch that movie, The Jackal?
No.
It's a remake of Day of the Jackal, and it's got Richard Gere with possibly the worst Irish accent right next to David Boreanaz from Angel and Buffy the Vampire Slayer. He's just going, could you get me out in a decent rate? Oh my god, it's got a decent rate. Right, Richard Gere.
That reminds me of Halloween 3. The company Silver Shamrock is an Irish company, and I can't remember the CEO in it. He's like the villain. He's Irish in it. But it honestly felt to me, apparently he is a real Irish person though, but to me, I don't know, he might be, allegedly, he's really Irish, but to me it just felt like he remembered every so often to say, to be sure, at the end of sentences, if you know what I mean. It was like a mutual friend of ours trying to pretend to be a Mexican person. To be sure, you don't want to go in there. And then he'd be like, but I'm back to being the villain. Settle down. Lifelike, aren't
My name
they?
is Barry.
Actually, no, that was really stilted and weird how he sneezed. Lifelike, right? No, it was terrible. Lifelike, right? No, to be sure.
You see, he was born in 1919. It's almost like it feels like I'm reading the story at the start of The Fog. It was 1919, and this fella, Dan O'Hurley, honestly one of the most. Oh fuck! It's he's the CEO for OCP and RoboCop.
Is that him? I recognised him from somewhere else.
That old. He's dead now. He died in 2005.
Oh.
But yeah.
To be sure.
And his kids as well. I've got the most Irish names. Lorcan O'Hurley, Cormac O'Hurley.
Just to remind
Gavin,
everyone again.
but within 2 A's.
Oh no, Gavin.
Gavin, but it's not the Gavin. It's the Gavan.
Oh, Gavin. Oh, I thought you meant it was Gavin.
Gavin. Gavin. But yeah,
the way I went Rick Mail.
But yeah, he was in RoboCop 1 and 2. It also turns out he was in Last Starfighter.
Oh, really?
Oh,
Is that
yes.
with Pee Wee Herman? Oh no, that's Flight the Navigator.
Fuck off. Right?
Oh, well,
you're
I'm
joking
sorry,
me.
God.
Oh, no, not you. No. This is the There's a guy that he was in. Shit, he was in. Do you remember Willow?
Oh yeah.
George Lucas written movie directed by Ron Howard, starring the Mad Mardigan, who's undoubtedly possibly the best thing about the film.
Yeah.
His son is the ginger-haired one with the cracking beard and the big beautiful smile that sort of takes the piss out of Mad Mardigan, and they ended up fighting with each other later on in the movie.
Jeez.
That's his son.
Who Silver Shamrock CEO's son.
So yeah. But yeah, he's Gavin or Gavin.
Gavin.
Oh, Gavin.
Gavin.
Gavin. But yeah, that was just something. It's just fucking. You know what? I've learned something today, thus pushing another bit of information out of my brain.
What's my
First
name
time
again? What is Kiss?
We'll just kiss.
We'll have to ask Matt Hancock. No, we're not getting political.
But yeah, fuck him. What?
Fuck him to death. No. What was? Oh yeah, Halloween Kills trailer. That's right. That came out again. Not spoiling anything. Won't mention it beyond that. And so what I did was I decided I wanted to have a movie marathon. Obviously, so I started with a very fond Godzilla movie. So it was Godzilla versus the Smog Monster or Hedorah, and then I moved on to the movie we're going to review today. And that's when I started drinking. It is.
What movie is that?
It is Friday the 13th, Part 6, Jason Lives. But after that, because of the trailer, watched Halloween 2018 as well. So I drank for a while, and I've just now woken up. So if I sort of pitter off into some weird sort of ramble, let it ride.
Let it ride. Just let it ride.
I might admit something, poop my pants.
I put my pants.
Something incriminating.
Isn't that one that I remember somebody asking me? Says, "Oh, do you go to the toilet whilst you're in the shower?" Because there's been a lot of discussions about saving water, etc. Because it uses a lot of water to flush.
Yeah.
And I think whenever somebody asked me, and I went, "Yes, I pop in the bath and push it down with my toes."
It's those people, and apparently it's a very common thing that actually do pee in the shower. Like, no. Oh, in the bath? I mean, that's redundant. Surely, like...
Right. What I would say for that one is some people, this is from previous experience in another job I worked at for the November Hotel Sierra, that it's for people who have potentially difficulty passing the wee-wees.
Oh, that's fair.
Because apparently the warmth is it eases the pain. So if you're, I don't know why I keep on going into some sort of German voice.
It's the pain.
When you're pissing the razor blades.
Pissing the bath.
Pissing the bath. Pissing in the bath.
Release your bowels. Gavin.
Gavin.
Ricky.
Home Alone.
Oh God, what was that parody of Home Alone where he's been like maimed, burned, knackered himself? Kevin McAllister turns around, he's a zombie creature, rips his mother's face off. That guy with the shovels trying to hack his head off.
Oh yeah.
Fucking
kill the brain and you kill the
and you kill the ghoul.
God. Ghouls. So what movie we're reviewing today? Mine Hair Flick.
Mine Fuhrer.
I don't know what the fuck is going on.
So we're German today, but yes. So as I well mentioned previously, we're doing Friday the 13th Part 6. Jason Lives. The main reason being is that next week for y'all is Friday the 13th. Y'all, or Jimmy Clem's back. Jimmy Clem's made his debut in work, by the way. I won't go into too much detail, but he's gone down a treat. So Jimmy Clem lives. But yes, Jason Lives. The main reason we're doing that is because next week for y'all is Friday the 13th, the day. So we're coming at you with what I would describe as my favourite in the franchise. Because I want to celebrate that with y'all. And y'all, fuck, what am I? You're German, I'm Southern American.
We'll get on famously.
God, I know. We didn't vote for no Obama. Anyway.
Probably.
Jesus Christ. But yes, Friday the 13th Part 6. I don't know if you want to get the ball rolling. I know we quite like to go into some of the details before doing the censors.
Right.
I could talk in length about this film because I've seen it so many times. Like yesterday, I was quoting the lines as I was exercising, drinking my beer. Redundant, I know. Watching it.
So I did a little bit of the research.
Some rooting and
beforehand. Yeah. So 1986, arguably the best year ever. I was born then. I was hatched. Emerged. I was foretold on the wings of a wildebeest. I don't know. There is no. I was going to say. I think I was going to go like a kingfisher bird. I was going to try and go down the whole Kim Jong Un thing where like
wildebeest shouldn't be.
It's a flightless mammal. It's just too fucking big. Its head is massive.
Not for want of trying. It jumps off
I know.
everything.
I was trying to think of like I was foretold on the wind of a kingfisher or like a hummingbird. But yeah, 1986, directed by Tom McLaughlin.
Yeah.
McLaughlin, depending where you're from, whether you're north or south of the border, somewhere, I don't know.
Jimmy Cam south. Deep south.
The deep. Deep, but get in there now and deep there. Try and pop one of the balls in there as well. It's like trying to keep a dog in a bath. I don't know why. Apparently that's a thing.
What, trying to keep a dog in the bath?
By trying to hypothetically, allegedly, if someone was made, say, coitus, and there was one party opposite another, and maybe they tried to insert one of the low-hanging fruit into a certain orifice. Apparently, it's the equivalent of trying to keep a dog in the bath. It just won't stay in.
That's a thing.
Allegedly.
Why would you ever? Like, it's gonna put me back in here. Jimmy Clem lost his penis in the wall. All he has is balls. Gonna put my ball in you. Consent or no consent. Anyway, Jimmy Clem.
Imagine that's going to be a different version of like 50 Shades of Grey. 50 Shades of Grey.
Oh god.
As he thumbed a ball in.
Was that called 50 Shades of Shite?
As he thumbed a bollock into said orifice.
He thought to himself, it's a bit like trying to keep a dog in a bath.
They go on, what's with it?
How is that a thing? Fucking hell.
As my mum would say, it would be boring if everybody was the same.
It certainly would, but oh man, I love it. People are great. They've put everything into everything else. So,
if anybody else wants to tell us about other horrific mid-coitus activities, please drop us a message to our podcast, our Instagram page at Podcast In The Backseat. I repeat, at Podcast In The Backseat. Hashtag dog in a bath.
If you hashtag dog in a bath, you get a special shout out. Oh, this episode wasn't special for the first. It is. It's a special episode. I've got to get that.
Everyone's special. In the same way that everyone's an individual, just like everybody else. Anyway,
I'm not.
Tom Matthews from Return of the Living Dead alumnus.
Oh yeah, his name's irritating because it's got a silent H. It's got one T. It's like, oh man, Tom Matthews. Thom Matthews.
Thom it in. Thom Matthews.
But he's a great actor because Return of the Living Dead he's amazing, and in this he's the most. And that's weird because Corey Feldman's quite iconic, and they're both playing the same character. And Corey Feldman did not grow up to be that handsome bastard. But he's very memorable, and he's the one even. I don't know if you've ever played the Friday the 13th game. Mm-hmm. He's the one that when you die, if you've called Tommy Jarvis, he'll appear and it's the only way to actually kill Jason in the game, because there is a way, if you didn't know that. It's very difficult, and it takes a lot of steps and 3 people's participation on an online game, so that's hard. But yeah, sorry, Tom Matthews.
Thom Matthews, Return of the Living Dead alumnus. I didn't realise until I kind of looked into it a little bit beforehand, but he's the kind of like the protege, he's like the mentee, opposite the mentor, and you need medical supplies.
Yeah.
I never knew until I looked at this. I kind of read part of it, but it was because the director, I think, or the writer was, what the fuck was his name? So it's George A. Romero and this other guy. I'm going to end up having a look into it. It's because they had a kind of not fallen out, but they had a difference of opinion on how the Night of the Living Dead sequel should go, and I'm glad that they did, because they're 2 completely totally different views to the zombie movie. One's more like, we're going to have loads of fun, we're going to refer to the first one as being like it's a real incident that is played off as a movie. Like, how clever is that? Oh, let's make a movie about it to cover up the fact that it did actually happen. So if anybody said it, nobody believe him.
Because correct me if I'm wrong, allegedly, Night of the Living Dead, George Romero got shafted on it. He has saw no money from it because of the title. The original script was called something else, so they sold the idea under that title. They changed the name to Night of the Living Dead, and because that came out, the producers kind of shafted him entirely. So he then went on to make Dawn of the Dead and made all of that money back, probably. But because of that, it fell into public domain very quickly. So Return of the Living Dead and him, in other words, it's safe to do that to something like that. Now, obviously, you mentioned that filmmaker who I'm hoping, because I'll never remember the name.
It was John A. Russo.
Nice.
But I think, what was I going to say? I think Dan O'Bannon, who directed Return of the Living Dead, was one of the writers for Alien and Dark Star.
Oh, wow.
And Aliens, Return of the Living Dead. So he's sort of like an amazing, and he gets credited on every Aliens game or anything even related to it.
Damn.
I think maybe I'm wrong. Does he not have some sort of connection with? Yes, he does. Life Force, which I think is massively underrated. It's silly, but I still thoroughly enjoyed it. I think it's one of the first DVDs I ever bought.
Nice.
Cost
I feel the same.
Fucking fortune.
No,
I tell a lie. It's not directed by him. It was directed by Toby Hooper, who directed Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Damn. That's awesome as well. But you mentioned Dark Star there as well. That's another one I find that's massively underrated, because it's one of Carpenter's very, very, well, his first. But the story, if you actually break it down, it is really thought-provoking in an odd sort of way. It's a hard movie to get through because it is a little bit dated, and I feel really guilty saying that about something with Carpenter in it. And the alien is a space hopper, which doesn't help. But it's loads of fun, like, my god.
Because I think the one he did straight after, his first kind of proper, he uses quotation, proper film, was Assault on Precinct 13, as far as I'm aware. He did that before Halloween, didn't he?
Yeah, it's the one that got him the gig to do Halloween. It was a producer called Michael Myers noticed him and gave him his first, because I think I've mentioned the beautiful story, because Michael Myers, the human, the real guy, was like this portly producer who just loved John Carpenter, who was like really nice, and he got him in touch with Mustafa Akkad, who obviously gave him the major funding to do it. But I think Michael Myers was the one who helped fund Assault on Precinct 13. So when he made that, he promised to put him in a movie. In the interview, Michael Myers is like, I didn't know he was going to make me a serial killing psychopath. And it's just this beautiful, lovely, like everybody's uncle type person. And then Michael Myers. But back to Friday the 13th as well. I looked it up because I didn't know the guy who played Jason is C.J. Graham. He's arguably as good as Kane Hodder, in my opinion, because he's a mountain. He's huge. I mean, Kane Hodder's probably better, and he appears in the next one, and that's his very first one. It's odd to think that the most famous person to play him appeared in the 7th movie. Where the decline started as well, so he's like the best to play him, but the movie, because 7 was bizarre, I don't know if you've seen it. with the psychic girl?
No, I haven't. In all honesty, I'll put my hands up and sort of say that I've not watched all of the Friday the 13th movies. I've seen. I think I've definitely seen 1. I've seen 4. I've seen 6. I've seen Jason Sex.
Nice.
The porn partner to the one in the space.
It's yes.
Into the space, man. And then we've got
Freddy vs. Jason as well.
Freddy vs. Jason, and then the remake they made like
the remake
10, 12 years ago.
Yeah. Oh, I hate to think of that because I went to see that at the cinema.
We're getting old.
Kill me.
But I think we talked about it in advance previously because the Marcus Nispel, who directed the remake of Friday the 13th, also remade Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Yeah, which is good as well, actually.
It just feels dead sweaty and horrible.
Yeah.
Like, oh fuck! What I love about that movie is you think, the guy who's wearing the baseball cap, the guy that seems like the alpha of the group, woof, fucking just fucking was it sledgehammer to the spine.
He's
the Swede,
the
fucking woof. I go. I think he's gonna ever it, and he's dead.
Smash.
Smash.
There's one thing. Well, there's a few things I noticed in this Friday the 13th Jason Lives thing, which I always notice but never make a note of. But I did this time because as we've mentioned before, we watch these films, pause them, make notes. Did you notice that this film was kind of a love note to a lot of other horror films and filmmakers?
I noticed there is a reference to, is it Carpenter County?
Yeah. Get on the get on the phone to Carpenter. It was like
get a Carpenter County, and yeah, there was Michael Garris is the name of the sheriff in it, which is Mick Garris, who's done loads of stuff to do with horror. There was a couple of other ones that stuck in mind. Let's have a look.
There's a couple I found. One was the gas station that Tommy Jarvis calls that blonde lady, I forget her name, is Karloff's gas and supplies.
Amazing, I missed that one.
Awesome. And my favourite one is the little girl who has a nightmare at the beginning before seeing Jason is called Nancy. She can't sleep because of nightmares, and I thought,
nice.
That's the very first kind of crossover of Freddy and Jason.
The fucking snakes.
Snacks.
Snacks. But yeah, that was the there's a few of them I picked up on.
But I love
that was the one.
It's just so much fun. It means that because at this point, this is the very first time, which I think we mentioned last episode, where Jason's properly supernatural. He's obscenely strong as well. I think he punches that guy's heart out straight away. Where prior to that, he was actually very human, and Tommy Jarvis, as a child, Corey Feldman, kills him. Mm-hmm. And the one that's in between, which I know you mentioned that you haven't seen, Tommy Jarvis is also in it, but he's played by a different guy, and he's actually in. They describe it as this. I'm not being funny. He's in a funny farm, so he's being looked after there, and it turns out the killer isn't Jason. So that's a massive departure from the franchise, and then all of a sudden this one comes out, and it must have blown people away. It must have been fucking finally we've got Jason. Now he's a walking corpse, which everybody remembers him as, and he hasn't been since 1980 to 86, which is obscene. That's 6 movies off the trot like that. I'd love that now. God. And the production values of this it's just way high. One of the things I noted this time around, because I was trying to figure out why this was my favourite one, and I honestly think it's because it's a fleshed out world. If you watch any other one, even Part 4, which is the one a lot of people regard as one of the best, it's a bunch of teens camping. This one's got children in it for the first time, because this is a children's camp. It's got policemen in it, which is weird to think, why would there never be... No, there's a town in it, where ordinarily it's very grounded, it's in one place, and that's what it is. I think it's because this one feels like a real world. I've been ranting, I'm sorry, I just love this.
No, not at all. One of the things I looked at is Kevin Williamson, who went on to write Scream with Wes Craven. Accredits this as to why he decided to go off and do write slasher movies, or write movies that were intelligent and meta and sort of self-aware to a certain extent, which is what I really, really liked about it. But yeah, that was it. Because the things I saw was that there's 3 people that played Tommy Jarvis. There's no nudity in the movie.
Yeah, very first time, and everybody, it's synonymous with the Friday the 13th, you get your tits out, you're going to die. Nobody does that in this. Yeah, more people die in this movie than any other in the franchise. Like,
really?
Oh, God, yeah. This is the one I've mentioned, and I'm going to mention it now because we're actually reviewing the film every Friday the 13th, and I'm going to do it next week for y'all.
Y'all.
Going to visit my dad, and we'll watch Friday the 13th Part 6 and take a shot every time somebody dies. We've never finished the film. Like, we'll finish the movie, we've not finished the game. Because that scene, there's a scene where Jason drops down and knackers 3 people at the same time.
Oh, yeah. I forgot about that.
Yeah, it just ends with every time.
Imagine just going...
It was the first time we did it. We just looked at each other with glassy eyes, just like, rack them up. And we did it. Fucking. We got most of the way through it once. That was good, but alcohol poisoning and all that.
Death, kidney failure, liver.
But apparently, there's a death in it every. Oh, it boasted when Jason was on screen every 3-point-something minutes. And that's what I mean by a fleshed out world. There's people paintballing, there's people going there for romantic picnics, there's actual campers, there's policemen, there's just townsfolk, and it's great. Where the other ones, it's just this group of teens, that's it, in one cabin, or a bunch of cabins, and that's it. I'm not taking that away from it, that's charming, that's awesome, but this one's a fucking fleshed out world, and Jason is a threat, like, to everybody. It's the first time he becomes a bit like Michael, if you know what I mean. Like, Halloween is a fleshed out world, and all of a sudden Jason launches in like that.
Yeah, I think he knows it. Like, because the opening of the movie is quite sort of like, it's immediate. What I like about it's snappy. He jumps straight into it. He's going to fucking knock Jason Voorhees' corpse about.
Yeah, he's literally going to smack his corpse.
Dig him up, dig up his corpse. What's that one for? Is it what's the name of the founder of Springfield? Jebediah Springfield. Dig his ass up, knock his corpse around.
Yeah, exactly.
But the immediately they're driving there, and there's the skeptic going like, "Oh no, can't I do that? I'm gonna fuck with this guy's corpse." He's like, "No, I'm gonna check to make sure he's dead," and then inadvertently shit goes sideways. But yeah, and then it's the bit where shit happens, and then it just goes to the 007 reference.
I know. Yeah, sorry.
He's going, all right. Oh, this is quite a serious film. Oh fuck, they've accidentally resurrected this motherfucker. Oh shit.
I know. And
could have just left him.
It's quite an odd way as well, because you expected it to be some sort of Necronomicon thing that brought him back, like some sort of special, spectral, or magic thing that's done it. Nah, lightning. Lightning hits this metal thing that's stuck in his chest. He gets up. He's now immune to everything. And it doesn't matter. It's cool. Like, you don't need a long drawn out. If it turned out that Jason's mother found the Necronomicon, actually I'd love that. But Jason's mother found a book, read from it, and her son was a zombie. Oh, really? It's kind of poo.
Jason's daddy was a Southern Baptist shaman from the Bayou. I don't know why I was going to go with that. Do you ever find anything about his dad?
They were actually going to explore that in one of the films, apparently, and they didn't go into it too much because the idea that they had was he was this alcoholic, abusive father who just beat the shit out of his mother, which took away from his mother a bit. Like, the idea was that she snapped when he died. It wasn't anything else that led up to it. She just went mental because he was being picked on. And it takes away her threat from the first one a little bit, because I'm one of the few people that actually likes the first one.
You wouldn't want to underplay that, because it's a whole idea, loss does crazy things to people. And according to Freddy v. Jason, because everybody was off fucking each other, he drowns. Does it ever explain as to why he looks the way that he did beforehand?
I don't think it really goes into it too much. He was definitely disfigured, because in the first one, you've seen the first one, when he comes out of the water as well, he's sort of decomposed, but he has definitely got like a funny eye, which is nothing to do with the decomposing. But yeah, I think he was just born deformed, and they made fun of him. But there's no reason as to why. She probably smoked like 20 cigarettes before, while pregnant.
60 to 80 Woodbine a day, Camel unfiltered.
Whilst,
chain smoking the back end of like a Vauxhall Nova.
It's good for the baby.
It's good for the strength of his lungs. It won't. It'll turn him into an unstoppable killing machine.
It's all for you, Jason.
You know what turns out, and I'm gonna get picked up on this one. You know what turns out, bullying works. No, it doesn't.
No.
Please don't bully anybody. But yeah, that's what I like about it. It was the 007 reference, and Terror Incorporated was the name of like the production company that made it, which I thought was quite fun.
Yeah.
But I think immediately as soon as you see that bit where it's like, instead of it the man with the gun who's a womanizing horrible chauvinist pig, he's a serial killer. He's just a globe-trotting serial killer, but I've got a license to kill.
Yeah.
Do you now? All right, okay. Imagine could we just his paperwork is in order. He can kill as many people as he wants.
He's infinitely worse and more dangerous than Jason.
Yeah, he is. The amount of VD he has spread around that world is just unbelievable.
But that's awesome when he comes out. He just walks and he slashes the screen with his machete and it bleeds. Imagine seeing that on the big screen.
Oh, that'd be loads of fun. But I think that's the bit where you knew, right, this isn't going to take itself as seriously as the other ones. I was going to say, I think we haven't talked about what the synopsis is.
I suppose, yeah.
Synopses. So I'll do it in a world. Tommy Jarvis goes to the graveyard to get rid of Jason Voorhees' body once and for all, but inadvertently brings him back to life instead. J'accuse. The newly revived killer once again seeks revenge, and Tommy may be the only one who can defeat him.
Dun dun dun.
Dun dun. You're right, Mom.
I ain't your mother.
But yeah, that was it. So that was the synopses.
I want Jason to do that like one day.
You're right, Mom.
Yes, I am. It's just the head saying it. Decomposing.
But it's just how the smoking rolly tag.
Yes, I am.
Freshen your drink, Gaffney.
What's it from the? Is it the casino from The Simpsons where like Mr. Burns is going off to the casino? It's called the Britannia. It's all the girls are real Brits, straight from the streets of Sussex. They are.
Freshen your drink, Gaffney.
Get out.
Get out. Oh man. No, I mean, well, unless you've got any other tidbits you want to go through, we can dive, because we've already kind of touched on some of the visuals.
Yes, yes, we have the visuals using the old bulbs.
The old eye orb.
Eye orbs. Eye holes.
Face orbs.
Eye holes. So if you start eating his eye holes, he just turns up and starts kicking the shit out of you. I'm the eye hole man. Give me my eye hole.
But yeah, the visuals on this are honestly they go in tandem with the sound, which we will separate because they're two biggies. But they are key. Like for this, it is so stylistically great. It does a lot of things. There's a lot of jump cuts and clever jump cuts. Now this is verging on a little bit of sound as well, because the crazy old guy in it isn't the harbinger of doom this time. He's kind of the guy trying to cover it up because he's saving his own job. But everything he says is kind of fourth wall breaking, and he does a lot of Soto voice as well. So he'll look at the camera and he'll say, some people have got a strange idea of what's entertainment and stuff like that. But looking at the camera, because that's why it goes into tandem, it's quite jarring, but it's quite funny. Oh, and he's like, he must think I'm a fart head, and it cuts to the kids going, yeah! No, that was class. But the lightning at the beginning, it's like watching a comic book come to life almost. It's just hyper realistic. It's brilliant, and it's the only film actually where you see Jason's face first. So normally he gets unmasked at the end. This one he's already unmasked because he's dead, and Jarvis throws the mask at him, and his face is always obscured by either filth or maggots or something. So you don't actually get a good look at him, which is rare. Jason Sex doesn't show you it either, mind you, but that's like one of the only other ones.
Is it because it's fused to his fucking face?
Exactly. At that point, yeah.
I'm just going to unmask him here. Fucking it. Get the crowbar, get the welder. Jesus fucking...
Rips his own head off.
Fuck. We've unmasked him, we've unfaced him.
Face off.
Face off with John Travolta.
Oh my God.
Nicolas Cage.
I'm a vampire. Not the bees. Classic lines. God.
Oh, it makes us think it's a Taylor Swift song, the Trouble song, with the super cut in with the screaming go. But they've also done it with Trouble.
How to get burned. Oh God. But no, like visually, I think it's because like we've said already, it's a very fleshed out world. Some of the kills in it are unique. Like they're really quite good. He doesn't get a machete until a lot later in it, and he barely uses it, which is quite odd because it's like his iconic thing. He actually uses part of a fence for a lot of the film. And Jason's well prepared this time. I don't know where he got that tool belt from, but he uses it really well. And there's like arrowheads in it or some. I don't know what he flings at that guy with a good shot, but like we said, there's a murder every. Somebody said it was like 3.5 seconds or something mad, but only when Jason's on screen, that is. And he's on screen.
Okay. I was about to say, fucking hell, I missed a load of kills. I must have stroked it off.
Oh yeah.
oh yeah.
But it's possibly the most 80s movie I've ever seen. Everyone's got the hair, the clothes. That guy's got ripped jeans, and I'm talking ripped jeans. His knees are out. Was his name Corey or something? Fuck him. God. But Jason himself looks great in it. Like he's a bloody mountain, and the way he moves, he sounds heavy. So it's like when he's coming at you, you know you're fucked, and he just walks like. Holmes, I ejaculated. Actual quote from a Sherlock Holmes.
When Jason comes, he I don't know what's gonna do.
Machetes come out.
And then I think a reference in the last episode. And then he made me fucker.
It's like a really, really sinister Wolverine.
It is. Schnickty schnoy, berserker attack. Oh, she is. She's dead.
But there's not an awful lot of blood in it. I can't remember.
There was on his unsheathed machete.
Yeah, that's true. And when he slashes the screen as well. But one of the most iconic scenes is when he crashes that trailer and he climbs out and it's on fire and he's stood there. Beautiful scene. But I remember when I was a kid, I went into Forbidden Planet in town, and they had that as a figure. You could just buy it, like him stood on there. And I wanted it so bad, but obviously I had no money. I was like 5. But it's so cool. I've never found one ever since. But they did that. They did the Jaws scene where is a Quint's getting eaten. So you've got the shark in the boat, and he's in his mouth. I wish I had them now. But there's a lot of scenes like that. It's visually, it plays with it a bit. Like it knows that in the real world things wouldn't line up that slick, if you know what I mean. It's the sort of thing that wouldn't be in a film these days because people would just be taken out of the realism, be like, that's a bit too far. But it's sometimes loads of fun. You want that sort of thing.
Oh yeah, I think that's one of the things that this movie has down. It's just fun. Yeah, it's not trying to take itself too seriously. It's not to the point where it's tongue in cheek. I think it's more so just like, fuck it. We're on the 6th slasher movie. Yeah, where the guy's now supernatural. He's just running, just killing loads of teens, and you know what? I'm in for the ride. There's a lot of stuff. Yeah, it was just visually, it was just fucking loads of fun. Very, very 80s. The cars, the soundtrack, the music as well. Which we'll not touch on it too much at the minute. But it was just like, it's a little bit sort of. It wasn't too sexy. Yeah. I think it was maybe trying to distance itself a little bit from that. Like, how am I going to make it different? I'm not going to have just a load of teens getting it on. And underage drinking and premarital sex and death.
They kind of hint on it a little bit. Obviously, Corey is with his girlfriend in that trailer for a bit, but it's Tommy Doyle, that scene where she's driving her beautiful car, by the way, and she ducks his head down, It's like, if have you ever ducked down in a car? You can kind of move around a bit, but no, he chooses to be right where he is between her legs, and like that fucking scene where she's taking turns and he's just rolling his head. He's like, oh no, my face is between your legs. It was happened by accident. And some of the dialogue's just great because it's beautiful. Again, the jump cuts with the dialogue fit really well. Where it's like, oh god, what was it? Chase them with extreme caution. I don't want him to do anything crazy, and it cuts to Tommy Jarvis between her legs saying, "Don't do anything crazy." It's just so good. Or another one where she's taking a turn, goes, "This turn's going to be a bit hairy." Oh, come on! You know what you're doing.
you big silly. One of them preverts. One of them preverts.
But yeah, that's my takeaway for the visuals. I've been ranting, I'm sorry.
No, not at all. There's like loads of stuff that it kind of the tropes that you normally associate with like a Friday the 13th. Bit of wind, despite it apparently being a summer camp. You can only put that out that sort of it didn't bug me or it didn't take me out of the movie. Just going, well, considering this is meant to be a summer camp, it seems to be a lot of dark and wind.
Yeah.
Like, what the
autumn leaves.
Over here, like it doesn't get dark until like 10 or later, and going like, how late are these kids up?
I don't know.
What the fuck are these kids doing awake? And the second of all, like, why is it so allegedly dark and windy? It's like it's meant to be like beautifully warm. I'd imagine like Jason having to like take his overalls off and go, fucking hell. It's a bit warm, isn't it? You got like the mist, you got the lake, like the opening bit's quite clever.
Oh yeah.
It's like sort of creepy woods, dead leaves, even though it's meant to be the summer. Mist, lake, lightning, and more wind. Other bits and pieces like the distressed grave. The director still has that in his backyard.
That's amazing.
Tom McLaughlin, and apparently a guy coming round to read his gas meter refused to enter the rear of his property because it had a Jason Voorhees headstone because he thought it was real, which I thought was quite cool. Weird, horrible things, but it really kind of adds to the aesthetic, particularly the opening bit. It's like a lot of maggots and worms and insects and creepy crawlies that just make you go, aha.
And they were definitely on that actor's face as well, because there's maggots crawling all over his eye, even. And I don't know how he managed it. I would have been wincing all over the place. Fair play to him. Yeah, there was other bits and pieces. Like there was the fourth wall break, where he just turns around to the camera, and I kind of wanted it to be like, was it Saved by the Bell or Ferris Bueller, where like the music just. It's alright, because it's Friday the 13th.
He's killing kids and he knows his job. Night can never die.
What was that
his
kid
ma's
from?
a nutter.
What was that kid's name from? Was it Screech from Saved by the Bell? I'd watch Jason just tear him apart. Fuck him.
So I'm gonna. Little did he know that he'd fucked up. He's dead now.
Good. Fuck him.
Did you know he did a slew of porn movies? He got Screech.
Fucking hell. I take it back. I wish he was working on.
He didn't die doing that. He died of something else.
No, fuck him.
Well, yeah.
God. Actually, speaking of ripping someone apart as well, do you remember there's like three counsellors? There's the blonde one, there's the one that gets taken out the window and her head ripped off. She kind of gets a quick death. Why did he go to town on the other one? Like, he kind of blasts through the door closes, you see her smash out the window, and he pulls her back in. It's like, normally you're done, you're mad. And then
he carries her?
Yeah, and then they open the door and there's blood everywhere. It's like, whoa, Jason hated her. Like, what did she do?
Maybe just had an ex-girlfriend with red hair and he's just going...
He's like, fucking no. But no,
gonna kill her last.
One of the best visuals on it, and I forgot to mention, I'm sorry, the bit where she goes back to Nancy after she's seen Jason, and she's walking back, and then Jason parallel walks across from her outside the window. That's beautiful, that's a good scene.
What I kind of want to do is like the bit where I think it would kind of take you out of the film. Like you sort of get movies where like they're walking behind a wall, but they're clearly not walking. They're just on like those boards to kind of like slide underneath a car, or you're on a skateboard and you're just going.
Look like a Japanese ghost.
Yeah, there was other bits and pieces like really, like you said, 80s. Like there's the headphones guy, typical 80s headphones guy. He's listening to his Walkman. Dead. What I wanted to say is he wants it like for me, because I think this came out in 86, and I think Nightmare on Elm Street came out in 84. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah, I believe so.
He's like a counsel of Johnny Depp.
Yeah, actually, yeah.
I think I've been calling him Counsel Depp during the movie. The bit as well, actual kids turning up to your summer camp.
Yeah.
They always seem to die in the week before the kids turn up.
Yeah.
Let's get this place all sorted out for the kids turning up. Whoa, dead.
This one begins with the kids, which is a nice reprieve, to be honest with you, because it's like you didn't believe it until now, all of a sudden.
You made me think of what's that band as a Hot Chocolate British band. It started with the kids.
Oh yeah.
Who knew that it'd come?
I don't know why, I just think of Alan Partridge whenever, because that's the first time I ever heard it, when he's singing this.
What else is there? Eternal Peace Cemetery. I never noticed that beforehand, which is quite cool.
Yeah.
Magic bottle of booze for the fourth wall breaking pensioner. Yeah. The old gravedigger. I'm going, his back must be killing me. Imagine that he undoes his shirt and he's shredded. Absolutely you could grate cheese on his arms. He's just going fucking yeah.
Jason tries to ram the bottle in his neck, it just breaks. Jason runs away.
Just going, is that all you got, son? Fight, you see? Yeah. Put him out. Yeah.
I killed Michael the other day, see? Pinheads hung up on my wall. Anyway.
But yeah, that was it. And this magical bottle of booze that just doesn't seem to end.
I know. Until it does, and he ends too.
Because he throws it and going, I love that death, that's fucking brilliant. He just throws the bottle and going, that's right, Jason, kill him. This old bastard's littering. Snap, fuck, shiv in the neck. council knife in the neck. What? Like that.
That's it. That's another nod to the audience as well. He's like, you'll be the death of me. It certainly was.
Little other bits, like there was a manual of occultism, like a dummy's guide to. He just got, I'm just gonna pop to the local garage because he's clearly. How long's he been gone? Like on his truck at the edge of the town. And got, all right, it's gonna. Got this book of the occult. Just it was in the glove compartment all along. Yeah, that was it. Sort of like sight. I think it's very 80s.
Yeah.
And again, it's something that we'll go back to. The kids don't fucking listen. They get told to hide under the bed, and they don't.
And they come out. Yeah. It's the bit where that policeman tells them to go under the bed, and there's these jump cuts of the kids doing literal dives under the bed.
Yeah.
I thought it was brilliant because it's very like, it knows it's a movie and it knows you know it's a movie. Like nobody would duck under the bed like that. They literally do a fucking star dive. Like, eat.
Yeah.
Half of them have got concussion because they landed head first.
They got like damaged elbows and knees and stuff like that. Or like we used to get like discos as a kid in like the 90s, so you're like sliding about in your trousers and the knees.
Actually, that slides into some of the audio a little bit here because some of the dialogue is I love it, but it's a little bit cringy. It's one of the kids saying, "What were you going to be when you grew up?" It was like, "Oh, fuck you."
The bit that freaking what I did find as a for the sound as we move into that, I did find it a little bit off-putting that every time that he kills somebody, it's the slide whistle.
Oh yeah.
No, I'm joking. That'd be great if it was.
Wah wah.
But yeah, I thought that was quite cool. Just as he slid the knife into that teen's spinal column. Sound, yeah. So the sound sort of linking really well with obviously the sight of it and everything else. Yeah. Like the creepy words. You've got the wind. in the background.
One thing I noticed actually is there is not a scene without music. Now a lot of movies, let alone Friday the 13th, there's a lot of natural sound. It's always accompanied with music, and the music, it's used to great effect. It's either music that they're listening to, which we'll get onto definitely because it's a few famous singers even, or accompanying strings that that's synonymous with Friday the 13th. It's just fucking brilliant. The
strings...
iconic. Oh, go on.
Go on.
No, with the iconic Jason noise isn't used in it an awful lot. Weirdly, it's used and it is definitely there, and it's in one of the songs which we'll get onto. But it's hardly. It relies more on the strings and the music, which is kind of cool. And I think it was trying to be a bit of a departure because apparently, and I don't know how true this is, allegedly, sorry, I don't know how true this is. Apparently, that noise is supposed to be Jason asking his mother to kill. So it was like a misheard thing. It's him saying "kill, kill" or something stupid. So it was kind of odd that he's walking around telling his mother to kill when he's doing the killing. So I think part 6 was kind of trying to depart from it a little bit, but still used it because you have to.
Because I thought it was the.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
I thought that was the mum going Jason kill.
It could be. It's just nobody even knows what it's supposed to be properly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Allegedly, he's just saying JK, just kidding. JK, just kidding. Joking. Soz, not soz.
Hashtag lol.
Mega lols. Rafflecopter. Teen death. But yeah, I think that the bit I never realised beforehand, I think I probably have, is just me more conscious of it, rewatching it this time, or watching this for the first time, is the strings are very. It's edging very close to like the music from Psycho.
Yeah, definitely.
And that's it's far enough away from it that you can tell that it's not the same, but it's very able to go on and see what they were going for there. As you mentioned beforehand, go ahead.
Yeah. It just might be another nod. Yeah.
To the pure Psycho and that. There was bells. I think bells were used quite a bit, particularly in the cemetery scene. It sounds like boom. It's like another one's dead.
Yeah.
We ring the
like
bell.
The death toll. Yeah. I never thought of that.
And then the drums was almost like the drums from like EastEnders. Dun dun boom boom boom. Little touches like the creaking coffin, the lightning and thunder. There's plenty of strings and wind, and you said I don't think there's a point where it's entirely silent.
Yeah.
And then it's a very sort of, in a really good way. I think maybe at the time that it was made, it wasn't intended that way, but it's almost. The soundtrack's almost cheesy, but it's self-aware very much in the rest of the movie. It's very self-aware. It's very like going. We've made a self-aware meta slasher movie, which you can see as to why Kevin Williamson went on to make the likes of Scream.
Yeah, definitely.
But yeah, absolutely loads of fun. Very snappy, very self-aware dialogues. Funny, if a little bit.
Oh yeah,
not disjointed and not being negative. That could be that it was. Maybe it was entirely intentional as to why they did it that way, rather than it being a case of we've done some really snappy dialogue. It's not like going, "You're tearing me apart."
Lisa. No, I'm not even joking. I think that the dialogue is tight. In this, there's a lot of wasted dialogue in every other Friday film. In this one, it's so bloody tight. Everything is important. But I think I mentioned to you prior to recording that bit where the policeman referred to the sirens as hit the cherries of the noise drives us mad. Or that cop who's like, wherever the red dot goes, you bang. It's like, oh, put it on my dick.
Do you know how yeah, it's very you bang.
But he looks a bit like Bill Hicks as well, that guy.
Yeah, he does. I was trying to read his name badge. I thought it was also like another reference to another horror movie.
Could be.
We mentioned Mick Garris. It's mentioned Carpenter County. We mentioned, what was the two other ones again?
Oh, it was Karloff gas station, and Nancy was a little girl who had a nightmare.
Nancy.
Yeah.
Is Nancy not also the name of the kid from Exorcist?
Reagan, wasn't it?
Regan.
Yeah, Regan. Sorry, yeah. But it's just fucking. In terms of music, music as well. as you mentioned, every scene's accompanied by music that they've made themselves or performed by artists, so people were getting on board, definitely. And a mutual friend of ours, he likes to be called Tutti fucking Fruity.
Tutti fucking
Fruity.
Tutti.
Now, I think we're all kind of fans, and everybody is to a degree. I don't know anybody who doesn't like or isn't influenced in some way by Alice Cooper. One of the best things about Alice Cooper is he has hit all of the major horror movie franchises. To a degree. He hasn't hit Halloween. He did work with John Carpenter in Prince of Darkness, which is cool. He's also in Freddy's Dead as Freddy's adopted dad, but he also does most of the soundtrack to Jason Lives, which is fucking brilliant. And one of my favourite songs by Alice Cooper is Man Behind the Mask, which uses a lot of that Jason sound that we mentioned before. The music video on it is sublime as well. But it's just loads of fun. Like it's one of the few movies I'll watch the end credits in its entirety because it's just that song as well. But it just sets the tone. Like, it's so fun.
I think that's it. I think there are actually written snakes. No, they just like fun with a capital
F.
What'd you do? It's fucking brilliant, man.
Oh, good fun.
Yeah, I think that was the bits and pieces sort of picked from it, and like the sight and the sound, loads of fun. Visually, it's really, really quite clever. I think you touched on it beforehand. It's about it paints a bigger picture. It paints outside the lines, the framework that they had beforehand, which is normally right. We've got a mass killer.
You've got to hit the rules.
Better. Yeah, you've got to hit the rules. It's all going to be confined within the summer camp, and then obviously they've decided that if we give a bigger picture, it makes it more kind of. It enriches the story rather than detracts from it, because it's not just about him. Because you couldn't just do the entire. Well, you could. I'd quite happily watch a film of him just walking through woods, knacking people. It'd be loads of fun. But I think it's the whole idea that it cuts away from it, and you find it more a little bit about Tommy and the final girl, and you get to tell a little bit more about the sheriff.
Final girl's weird though, because she falls in love with Tommy for no reason. He's a hot guy, maybe that's it. But when her dad says,
"Dude hangs down,"
maybe, yeah. But like when the dad's like, "Wait here, your friend Tommy Jarvis has killed a bunch of people." Tommy Jarvis calls up and she's like, "My dad's looking for you. For all you know, he did kill those people. You mad bastard! What you doing? Going like running neck first into potential danger? Do you know what I mean?" She knows he didn't do it somehow, but she doesn't know that Jason's there yet still. It's so weird, but it doesn't matter. That's the thing. Like, I know I'm ragging on it there a little bit, but it just doesn't matter. Like, she's so 80s in love with him. She didn't mind. But what were your thoughts on the other senses then? So, because they kind of all tie in. Yeah.
They smell like decay. And you sort of like the feeling of like cobwebs making you kind of feel itchy. Dirt, death. It seems very wet. It's very wet.
Moist,
wet. Smells like maggot heads and head farts.
Well, yeah.
And cheap hooch, and sort of magical cheap hooch that eventually drinks from him instead of him drinking from it.
Like in Soviet Russia.
In Soviet Russia, vodka drink from you.
God. But I absolutely agree with that. I've got a very unique feeling because, as I mentioned before, I watch it every Friday the 13th. The taste I get is usually either tequila or whiskey. So
not tequila, man. I just. There's a term that we use back home in Northern Ireland called boke, because it's the noise you make as you're talking to the big white telephone to God. Boke.
But yeah, it's just. It's fun for all the senses.
It is. It's just
not tequila.
Oh no! That's
slowly poisoning you to death.
Yeah. It's just fucking hot. Crazy Mexicans.
No, I will. But no, I mean, unless you had any other senses that you wanted to touch on.
No, that was it. It was just fun. Like I didn't know all that much about it. You kind of said, "Oh well, we'll do Jason Sixth." Jason, and before he goes into, he's going into. Are we going into space? But yeah, that one.
Go.
Imagine that, William Shatner going up against Jason. And what was that island? I think the planet where it's got that famous scene on like the jagged rock sitting up out of the ground. I think it's in California somewhere. And then it gets.
We can't keep fighting this way. Fucking knocks him with a machete.
Oh my god.
Oh
Jim,
my god.
no, Jim.
It's worse than that. He's been eviscerated, Jim.
And then you've got like the Spock hand, but instead of it being split down the middle because he's divvied up his hand, it's because Jason's just grabbed two sets of fingers each and just ripped his hand apart.
It goes all the way down to the elbow. Oh no! Oh, that's nasty.
He's got some flippers there, and it's a pointy.
I mean, this Jason could, mind you, because from this point on, he's just a fucking superpower. He's a powerhouse. He'll smash through doors. He'll twist your head off like it's a note.
But yeah, I think that was going to move on to my kind of. What's it called? Jerry Springer. It was a Jerry Springer's thoughts.
Yeah.
It always ended with, but never at the expense of the child. That's in pretty much every Jerry Springer going. People sometimes fall out, but never at the expense of a child. I've been Jerry Springer. Have a good day. Bye bye.
Even when there's no children involved.
I know.
God.
I was molested by an alien, but never at the expense of children. Goodbye, I've been Jerry Springer. All the best. Goodbye. Bye.
Beat me up.
Beat me up. My thoughts on the movie as well. Obviously, we've already covered the little meta bits and pieces where it references Karloff, etc. The opening's fun. There's a lot of exposition, which is quite clever. The things I had, right, what year is this movie meant to be in? Because Tommy Jarvis seems to age like a reverse dog. Like a dog.
That's true.
Every year he seems to be like he goes from Corey Feldman because Jason 4,
who was massive. He's buff as fuck.
Yeah, because he went from that one, and then in 5, where it's in the funny farm, as you referred. Is that meant to be like the year beforehand?
Honestly, I think they disregard it because the end of that movie, Tommy Jarvis, spoilers, also wears the mask and it looks as though he's about to kill someone, because I think what they were wanting to do was set him up to be the new Jason, which I'm so glad they didn't, because it just, I don't know. They always try that. They tried that with Halloween with Danielle Harris's character as well, and nobody wants that. So.
Yeah.
But yeah, because that guy, he's hench as fuck, and then all of a sudden this Tommy Jarvis appears, and he's kind of just your slim. He's a handsome chap, like we say, Thom
Matthews.
Thom Matthews.
Hey, Thom.
But I'm glad they'd kind of disregard 5 a little bit. But as you say, that would have the Corey Feldman one would have been made 2 years prior. So when is this set? Is it supposed to be in the 90s? Because it's the most.
Yeah, because it doesn't say that the original movie happens in the 80s, because the first one came out in 80, is it?
80, yeah.
So 1980, they brought out a film every year. That would be fun. Like knowing every Friday, every Halloween, or every Friday the 13th, there was a new movie coming out. It'd be loads of fun. They'd be like, 5 wasn't great. 6 though. Back in the game, Jurassic Park. And this one's such a high quality compared to some of the ones around it. Yeah, it's insane to think it took them only a year to do it. Like, they must have started on this one as the 5th one was like in its editing stages. Like, but man, the work that's been put in. I mean, just again with the final thoughts, and how many Jason hockey masks would you give it then out of 10? As far as it being fun, I don't think it's. I think the ones I look to sort of mention about being 10 are either ones that I've thoroughly enjoyed and I think has possibly something to say, but also are maybe say timeless. I think this movie's dated, but I think it was meant to be whenever they created it. So I would probably say, I don't think I've marked it. I suppose we always end up picking movies that we're going to enjoy. And we know that we're, what's the point in us watching a movie or picking one to review if we're sitting there going, we're just thinking of that movie. It happened. 90 minutes, I'll never get back.
Yeah.
And then so I remember watching some comedians saying, I that's 90 minutes of my time I'll never get back. And going,
Yeah.
I hate to spoil it for you, but you never get that time back. It all moves in a straight line. You don't get any time back at the end. Oh, I've got that hour and a half I'm supposed to get back. But I'll probably say I'd say 7.5, and that's not to be. I think it's just because like the higher ones, like you're sort of looking towards like 10s for like The Thing, The Shining, loads of other sort of movies like the original Psycho. They're the bar which you sort of look for. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I will definitely revisit this much more frequently. Like this and 4 are loads and loads of fun for me to watch, and then
the 2 that are just regarded as the best as well, to be honest.
Because the first one, he just doesn't fuck about. He's just like the guy that played him hated teens and kids. He just fucking hated them, and I think that comes across in his kills. And then 6 is more fun. I think 4 is a straight up slasher, no fucking around. Jason's gonna knock a load of people, and then 6, he's some sort of demon from beyond the grave. Little does he know he's gonna go on a little tour. He's going to Manhattan. He's going to hell.
He's going to hell. He's going to space. Fuck me.
He's gonna go fuck up that kid from Supernatural.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'd say 7.5 for me.
Nice.
Loads of fun. Definitely will revisit it more often. But I'll probably double barrel that before.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And I've done that a few times, to be honest, because the one I skip is 5 quite frequently, and everybody does. But no, with this one, what I would give it, because I'm all about rewatchability and just enjoying myself sometimes. Now, obviously, we're both, because we're very similar in our favourite films, like The Thing, that is The Bar. So I kind of give it a 10. Now I went in thinking, I know I'm going to give this a 10 straight away, because I love it, and I will watch it every Friday the 13th, and I've got a lot of good memories associated with it. But in all good conscience, I can't give it a 10, because we gave 10 to Nightmare. It's not as good as Nightmare. It is, for me, it's a 9. I'll give it a 9, because I've just got too many good memories associated with it, and I'll go back to it every year.
I think we can't, not necessarily that we can't agree, of course we can agree. But yeah, there's going to be differences of opinion as to what you've kind of enjoyed it. I think I'm going to stick with my 7.5. You're 9. I think it's those associations that you have, whether those memories, or in your case, not memories, being able to remember watching it on Friday the 13th.
Blackouts. Oh, it's great. But I love a good film that you can put on and just enjoy. Like, I will, and I'll say this now because we're going to review them. The Shining is a 10, but you can't just be like, sit down, have some popcorn, have a beer. You've got to concentrate a bit.
It's because you've got to you owe it to the film, and you owe it to the director and everything else that's happened. You know, it's Stephen King. It's directed by Stanley Kubrick. You've got Jack Nicholson, Shelley Duvall. You've got Scatman Crothers. You've got to at least
give
got to be like,
them.
You know what?
Yeah, yeah.
The reverence that kind of come together, going.
Yeah. Wait, this one.
Give me the back.
Oh, it's so. That scene's fucking great. I think it's in our opening as well, where he's just like, "I'm not gonna hurt you. I'm just gonna bash your brains in." It's vicious though, and that whole scene is beautiful. Right, we'll get into this a little bit. That whole scene, because they go from the one end of that whole hallway to the other end and up the stairs, all in one like dialogue. And bravo.
Oh, you know what? I love Kubrick in this. I love Kubrick. I'd hate to work for him.
Oh yeah, because apparently that was like,
because there's one of the last films. I think it was his last complete movie that he did before he died. Stanley Kubrick's last movie was arguably AI, which then got taken over by Steven Spielberg. Senor Spielbergo, and apparently, Vincent D'Onofrio met Tom Cruise, because Tom Cruise had never worked with Stanley Kubrick beforehand on Eyes Wide Shut, where they just all wear masks and blow each other. I think one of them Bilderberg meetings like they have in America, where they all meet up and get dressed up into like fox costumes and yiff each other and all that kind of shit. Anyway, so Vincent D'Onofrio had one bit of advice for Tom Cruise, and he says, buy an apartment, you're going to be there for a year. Apparently the scene where Tom Cruise just goes in through the door into the apartment, which they built entirely on a soundstage, and I think the street was at an entire soundstage. It took fucking forever. Apparently it was like hundreds of takes. To like 3 days of him just opening a door and just going like, you know what, fuck you, Stan.
He's like the opposite of Ed Wood. Ed Wood's just like, that'll do.
I'll do. Cut. Yep, let's move on to the next bit. Oh yeah, but
keep rolling.
It's like that bit in Orgasmo.
Told John.
Where the stunt cock's a different ethnicity to the guy who's playing him. Just going, do you see a problem here?
No. Or and actually in Plan 9 as well, which I watched recently, where Tor Johnson walks into a set and it wobbles, and it's in the final cut. It's like you could have just had him walk. Never mind. I love Ed Wood, but I love Stanley Kubrick as well. But they're fucking. But yeah, opposite. I think I'd tell. Well, apparently the bit where Scatman Crothers comes in, apparently wasn't particularly well, and he just broke down. He like, what the fuck do you want from me? Like, would you give me a chance to live? I haven't seen my kids in 3 weeks. You fuck, Stan, let me go. That's you know what? That's the energy I'm looking for. Roll camera, just going. I didn't believe that performance. Could you complain at me again, please?
But apparently he just tortured Shelley Duvall. Apparently Stanley Kubrick just fucking give her like a hard time, and that's why she's like fucking on edge. Just fucking.
She looks like she's about to break down. Aye. Yeah. Best performances though, like and I can't imagine. Yeah, I can't imagine Kubrick gave too much shit to Jack Nicholson because he'd just have a fucking go at him. Jack Nicholson's another one that's kind of like he'll take a baseball bat to you. Bash your brains.
What do you want to do with me, Jack? I'm gonna bash your brains in. And
cut. No, I'm fucking serious.
He wakes up 3 days later in the ICU.
Did you get it?
Detached retinas. Fuck.
I hope you filmed that. But yeah, no, I mean that's our review of Friday the 13th.
Oh, the only other, I'd like a few other comments. Like the deaths are cool, as much as murder's not bad. What was I going to say? It's the town in which Camp Crystal Lake. I had questions. Has the town now got bigger? And imagine that town would die as a result of everybody getting killed in that summer camp.
Every year.
Like 3 years, running. What else was it? Like, what the fuck? Oh, the deaths where it's in the camper of the RV. She gets her face pushed into the metal.
Oh,
going,
yeah.
Oh, fuck. Oh,
I know.
Oh. What, how, do you reckon she's alright? No. Dead.
No.
No. What was
right,
the other bit? There's the last little bit. I missed. There was another one which I didn't know if you picked up on this when you said about little references and like sort of nods to horror. Cunningham Road.
Oh, I noticed that. Is it
Sean S. Cunningham is the name of the director from the original Friday the 13th.
Yeah, I thought that was nice.
What else is like the machete? And parts of it reminded me of like Jason Meets Stripes, that Bill Murray movie where they're all doing paintballing. And then there was a probably not intentionally a reference. It's almost like it's very similar to Rambo First Blood, like the First Blood movie, where Brian Dennehy takes John Rambo to the edge of town to take Tommy Jarvis to the edge of town with his truck, and then I wonder if he comes back. Yeah, I'll give him his fucking truck. Of course he's going to come back. It's like going to walk him like 35 miles away from town, and then he's going to walk back, and by the time he gets back to town, all dead.
Just shoot out the tyres at least, Christ.
No, hobble him.
Yeah.
Kneecap him. You go, bang bang, that's it. Oh, well, it's going to take him at least 3 days to slug into town. Oh, we know where he's been. There's a trail of blood where his kneecaps have been going off the concrete. What else is there? People living up to people just lining up to die. Alright, we've got these people doing some sort of activity. Weekend, boom, dead. Never to be seen again.
A lot of fodder in it, yeah.
And one thing I wanted to ask about, is there any particular has Jason killed, like straight up killed kids? Not teens, kids. Has he ever?
No. He's never managed to. No! He kills them all the time, Ted. Does he really, Matt? No.
Remember that fella that was so good at fashion they had to shoot him.
No, he never manages to get one. Michael doesn't get one until 2018. So.
And then Jason during the day. I thought the whole idea was that Jason doesn't turn up until it's the Nick.
Yeah.
It's not. He's sort of, but he's just walking about in the day.
Yeah. Well, he's just a bloody force at this point, isn't he? Because
what's he been doing? Just going. I've got to wash me overalls, dry them on this old dead tree.
Filthy up me mask a bit.
I'm gonna shine up this lovely machete so the sun gleams off it. I like the bit where like the torch pans round and you go, oh, there he is.
I know. Like he was hard to see.
And the thing aside from that was it was just fucking loads of fun.
Yeah.
I'll definitely rewatch it. It was definitely one that I'll add to my sort of rotation of movies. It's a bit like certain movies will come on and I'll watch from the start to finish, or regardless of what time it kicks in. I'm going, I'm gonna watch this. It's fun. I think you can tell that they had fun making it, not only writing it and directing it and everything else. It's sort of like Jason Lives is fucking.
It's just fun. Yeah.
And then only 11 years later, I can't believe it's only 11 years between that getting made and Scream.
God, yeah, 11 years.
And it borrows a lot as well. It's like the sheriff's county. Where I can't imagine you would get a lot of sheriff's counties in. I think it's meant to be California. I could be wrong.
Yeah.
For Scream, but like 11 years later, and then Scream comes out and completely just changes everything. Yeah. Are you gonna do a slasher? Right, it best be fucking snappy. Yeah. It best have a kick-ass soundtrack. It best be dead clever and self-aware of other slasher movies, because there's other horror movies that they're not aware. But I think even earlier on in the movie, I think even in the movie it talks about, oh, I'm not going to go into the woods. I've seen far too many horror films, so I know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
And still, all dead.
All dead. There were no survivors. But no,
who told the story? Who told the story? How did we find it?
That's it. It's one I'd highly recommend, and if you haven't seen it, give it a check out. If you have, let us know what you think of it on our Instagram page, our Podcast In The Backseat.
Yeah, I don't know why I was going to go back and mention. I think it was Alien Fuck Train. I don't know that sort of thing stuck on my head. H.R. Geiger's Alien Fuck Train. Alien Fuck Train. But join it.
You son of a bitch, I'm in. God.
But yeah, I think that's all the time we've got for boys and girls. Please, I hope there's no boys and girls listening to this, because this has got that E. So the fucking he's trying to throw up a gang sign, but it just looks like I'm giving somebody the claw.
Face, okay.
Oh,
thank you very much for listening.
Yeah, I've had loads of fun watching the movie. I've had loads of fun talking to yourself. This time I wore clothes.
Yeah, sadly.
And whenever we come around to the next couple of recordings, we will actually be able to do this sort of in person, in the reels,
in the flesh, in the ripped flesh.
And we're just gonna do like what you want to see in every single episode of That Was That Program. Location. Just want to see them going at it like dogs. I wish I knew how to quit you. I love you. Always have.
Yeah.
But yeah,
everyone.
Good night, everyone. But yeah,
be seeing you.
Be seeing you. Bye.
Mom, can I have a stomach pounder and a Coke?